I have audited dozens of Google Ad accounts, taken over dozens of Google Ad accounts from other agencies that weren't performing, and even taken over dozens of Google Ad accounts from business owners who were doing, the Google Ads themselves, and even started dozens of Google Ads accounts purely from scratch. So the point of this video is I want to share the mistakes that I see the most across the board when I'm taking over accounts from bad agencies, taking over accounts from business owners, new accounts, auditing, etc. I'm putting all the biggest money wasters that I see continuously still to this day, all the time. I'm putting them all into this video. So whether you're a business owner, an agency owner, an aspiring agency owner, whatever you may be, these are the top things that I see to this day that still waste a lot of people's money using Google Ads. So what makes me reputable to make this video? I'm making this video because I run a Google Ads agency myself, and I have worked with over 100 brands, and no, that does not mean I have 100 clients. I do consulting, I do audits. I've even partnered with other agencies to help them with their clients, and then I have my own clients, etc. So as you can see right here, just inside my overall manager account, I have set up 399 campaigns overall just in this manager account. I don't have anything else really shown, like, ROAS, because I run some e-commerce and, mostly local home service or just home service in general. So we go by booked appointments and phone calls. So those aren't really being dynamically value tracked, but there's that. But what I want to show here is just this year so far, for all my clients, I have tracked almost 8,000 conversions. So about a small portion of that is actual business, sales like D2C, but most of it is going to be actual form fill outs, online bookings, calls, etc. So I just put on this client a month ago, generated them 65 first-time phone calls. Another client here that does, both of these are just, lower ticket local service. This client, I've been with them for this whole year so far, but high level only lets me show the last 6 months. So I just click this one, but 77 first-time callers. And this client is spending substantially less than this client. So just a couple of screenshots. I could really show you, accounts forever. Again, I run e-commerce. I have plumbers, I have HVAC, I have auto shops, I have entertainment businesses, I have escape rooms, I have asphalt paving. I could go on and on and on. So there's just a couple screenshots to show you that I'm not completely full of crap. Again, I've made over 399 campaigns for my clients this far, worked over 100 brands. So where do we start? Again, the things that I see constantly to this day, I'm not really going to be showing you anything on the screen because I just don't really feel like that would be of much value or really make much sense. So I'm just going to kind of go down a list here. So the number one thing I see, and I see this the most when it's business owners that are running the Google Ads themselves, like they're like, they give me a call. They're like, hey, I've been running the Google Ads myself for like a month. We're just not seeing the results, right? Common situation, because there are a lot of videos on YouTube, of course, like, ones like this or ones that I, post or ones that anyone posts that you can get set up and, start spending on Google after watching a video or two. You absolutely can. But to do it right, and being able to leverage Google Ads as a profitable marketing channel for your business definitely takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice. This is probably why some of you are here. But the biggest thing I want to say is not proper conversion tracking. So a lot of people do not have conversion tracking, set up properly. So no matter what they are tracking or how they're tracking it, if it's not accurate, then they're getting random data and it's not adding up, and it's going to really make making adjustments in your account very difficult because the data is incorrect. So I see a lot of people who have like a page load, which should be a thank you page after a form is filled out. But instead it's like, hey, once someone goes to our contact page, that's a conversion. Well, no, you want to make sure the form is filled out, etc. So I'm not going to show you how to actually, set up the conversion tracking because I don't even really know how to do it. I have someone on my team that does it for me for every client because it is very, very hard. It's nothing like setting up the Metapixel where, you just add it to your site. You go, cool, I want when they click this button or do this, that's a conversion. There's a lot more into it with Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, all these variables and codes, and I have no idea. So pay someone to do it, find someone on Upwork, or, if your agency is doing it for you, have them set up the Google conversion tracking for you, of course. But again, that's the biggest thing I see is people not even starting the foundation right. So if you have incorrect or improper conversion tracking set up, every decision you make inside the account, which should be, based off of, conversions, it's all going to be messed up. So that is very, very number one. Before you start spending any money, you want to know what is going on in your account. So that has to be accurate. So conversion tracking needs to be accurate. Number two, and these are in no particular order, by the way, I did want to start with the conversion tracking because that's a big one and it's a hard one. So again, not something that you can really just like watch a video and do. You can try. I've tried and I was like, forget it. I'm going to pay someone to do this. And I have a lot more success with that. So all the rest of these are not in any particular order. But the next one I'm going to go ahead and talk about is branded search terms eating budget. So especially if you are running broad, a lot of broad keywords, or just depending how you actually have your campaign set up. I go and I look at search terms and I see a lot of people getting a lot of clicks from just people that were looking up their brand name, or, searches that would lead them to their brand name, right? So basically close enough, right? So if someone just typed in Eberhard Media, but my business is Eberhard Media Marketing Agency, that's still considered a branded search term, right? So depending what you're doing, depending how big your business is, if you're e-commerce, I see this a lot more, than just like a local service business in a city, but just because, nationwide targeting is a lot bigger. Typically those companies are spending a lot more on ads, etc. But definitely make sure that you are paying attention of how much spend is going towards your branded keywords in all of your ad groups. Because again, I just see that eat people's budget up a lot. And it's like, hey, I even have a client right now who runs an escape room. And he was like, hey, I know we're doing really good, but if I look back at June of last year when my old agency was running it, we were getting, 1,000% return on ad spend. I very quickly showed him that 75% of that spend was just going to branded search terms. And I'm getting him a 6.5x, but no one is looking for his actual just business name. So this is new business or business that we may not have one. So his revenue is actually still overall up just because that his ROAS, isn't what it quote unquote used to be. But that's what a lot of times, crappy agencies do when they want to just inflate metrics. But we all know, and I know especially, that if I inflate metrics, that doesn't help me keep my client any longer, because if their bank account and their business isn't growing, I'm still on the risk of getting fired no matter how good the Google Ads dashboard looks like. So just make sure that you're looking at that. It'd be really easy for me to plug that into anyone's business who has, a standard reputation, has Google reviews, gets business, naturally and organically, to set that up and almost just be paying for those clicks that would have, gone to you anyway. So just make sure you're looking at that, set those as negatives. Depending on how much you're spending and how big your brand is, and you can always make it a separate campaign just for these branded search terms, but I'll leave that up to you. The next thing I see is broad match keywords are getting used way too much. I know Google's pushing them. I know other YouTubers talk about them, like Aaron Young, like, oh, broad match this, broad match that. Broad match is great. But if you are running the Google Ads yourself and you're the business owner and you don't know a ton about this and you have a lot of other things to focus on, you are going to be wasting money, because search terms need to be your best friend. You need to be looking at those search terms daily for at least a week. And it depends how big your budget is and how broad, those search terms really are, because you are going to get a ton of irrelevant search terms coming in that are eating your budget. And if you're an asphalt paver, or if you're, a parts manufacturer, or if you're a plumber or HVAC, a locksmith, those costs per clicks can be anywhere from $20 to $50, right? Depending on what industry you're in. So if you just are like, hey, I'm gonna set this up, spend $200 a day, I'll check on it every few days, you're gonna be spending, probably 70% of your budget on complete BS, because that's what Google will do. Broad match keywords will always make sure that you're spending your budget no matter what. You need to be looking at those search terms and making negative keywords like crazy. Like I said, for the first week of you making any changes to like the ad structure, ad account, or ad group structure, keyword structure, etc., be watching those keywords, because Google will spend your money. So yes, broad match keywords are great. That's what Google's pushing towards, because of course it's more AI driven and more open. Of course they want you to do that, of course. So just make sure that you're actually, watching those search terms. But moving forward, along with, with the negative search terms, if you are any kind of home service or local service business at all, here are the best negative keywords that I start with literally every single client, just no matter what. It's always going to be free, cheap, how to, why is, DIY, Home Depot, stuff like that. That already just gets rid of a lot of like researchers and window shoppers and people who are just like looking up the subject itself, right? Especially for, any kind of thing related to vehicles, or like I said, like home service. There's a lot of people who just try and like, price shop or do research or look up the parts, etc. You don't want your Google Ads being shown for those, but you want the more higher intent keywords of people looking to actually take action and hire someone for their problem. So I recommend making all those keywords I said, make those negative and make those broad. That's what I do for every basically local service client. So next thing is smart campaigns. I actually really don't see this as much as I used to like a year and a half ago, but whatever you do, just don't do a smart campaign. I'm not even going to really get into it, besides the fact that it is 100% Google AI driven. You have no say in anything, and you just give it a budget and it's like, awesome, here are the clicks we're getting. That's it. You have no idea what's going on at all. It's complete trash. I've seen like a local independent gym came to me like a year ago, and they're like, yeah, we're running Google Ads to take a look. I'm like, okay, they're running smart campaigns, and they're saying they're getting like 20,000 clicks a month for like a $300 ad spend. I was like, okay, this is just don't do it. Okay. I know everything is pushing for AI this, AI that. AI is still very, very far off from being the best thing that you're going to be able to do. And that hence the reason why I have an agency and do this is because there is a learning curve. You do have to do a lot of things on your own here. So do not use smart campaigns. Moving on, kind of coming back to keywords is I see a lot of expensive keywords with no cost per click limit. Also, side note, I'll dive into this, but I have it here in my notes. Short keywords are more expensive. So again, a lot of local home service, lawyers, their keywords can be really, really expensive. So the thing that I see is I'll see an account where it looks like their strategy is kind of working for the most part. Like they have conversions, they're getting something, but they're like, hey, this just isn't profitable enough. And I can look and typically find like 1 to 2 keywords that aren't converting as well as the rest, and they're like 3 times the cost. So it's like, okay, if you just got rid of just those keywords and did nothing else, you'd be saving, 70, maybe $100 a week on each keyword. And if you're spending, $100 a day, that's $3,000 a month, and you're saving like, let's say $250 a week, like you're saving $750 a month out of your $3,000 a month budget. And if you're on the brink of making this work and you're keeping them going because you're seeing results and you're seeing, you're seeing the calls, you're making the appointments, but it's just not where you want it to be, it can literally be as simple as that. So you have to make sure that you're watching these keywords because some of them can creep up on you. Seriously, the difference between the exact match keyword of, let's say, emergency plumber near me versus Scottsdale plumber near me or Scottsdale plumber 24/7, something like that, right? The difference in that keyword can literally be like 3x the price. I just kind of made that up. You have to do keyword research and actually look at, what these are going for. And also once you have, your ad group set up, you need to be like checking how expensive these are costing you, because keywords that are very simple and basic and that are used the most and that typically drive the most conversions are going to be the most expensive. So if you just go, hey, emergency plumbing, that's going to cost you a ton of money. But if you just did Scottsdale plumbing 24/7 help near me or something like that, right? More of those long tail keywords, those are more niche. Those specifically have less searches. They will be cheaper. So some of the biggest things that I do for these industries that I tell you that have really high CPCs is I do really, really, really niche keywords, right? Like I have an asphalt paving company in Central Oregon. If I just did asphalt paving, it's expensive. But if I do, Central Oregon residential asphalt paving company near me, that keyword is like $6 compared to asphalt paving, which is like $25, $30, right? So this I know keyword research isn't, a brand new thing. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but just do the research, make sure, in your ad groups that you're watching that spend, because again, a lot of times too, these expensive keywords, they are by no means, are they always the ones that are driving you the most conversions. If that was the case, it'd be a lot different. But most of the time that is not the case. So just really look at that. I mean, if you're like, hey dude, no matter what we do, all of our keywords are so expensive, which can be true for if you're a plumber in Phoenix, every 90% of keywords that are getting any traffic are going to be very expensive. Then you just have, or same thing with junk removal, right? Then you have to put a limit, and the limit depends on, your conversion rate. This kind of ties into something that I have, later in this, which I can actually just transition to now, is going to be having a good performing website. So if you're a plumber, if you're a locksmith and you're paying anywhere from 10 to $30 a click, but you're only converting like 10% of the people who click, it's going to be almost impossible for you to make money, because you're going to be paying for the call for exactly how much is going to, how much you're going to be charging this customer for the work. Couple $100, right? Let's just say for a given scenario. So you have to make sure that your conversion rate is high. So you need to have a good website and a good landing page. And right now, if you're like, oh yeah, I'm seeing that, like, this is the big thing, because this is the biggest thing that I see besides conversion tracking, if it's someone doing the Google ads themselves. But a lot of reasons why I'll get a client and they're like, hey, we've had agencies do this, we've been doing this, we've tried everything, blah, blah, blah. Conversion rate is just low. So again, if you're paying high CPCs and you're converting like 10% of people or less, which most people's less, if you're really, stuck, that is no bueno. You need to be converting more people. So you need to have a better page. You have to have a better offer. Your page needs to be more congruent with your advertising. You just have to have something that just looks better and has more authority, more trust, more social proof, that when people click on it, they just go, okay, yeah, like I'm going to take action here. I know that's the $1 million question, but right now, if you're like, hey, our page just isn't converting and I just don't feel like it's as good as like some other people's plumbing page around ours, quite literally go do research and look at your, competitors in your area that have a better page. If you're able to be like, oh wow, damn, yeah, this page is better than ours, then I bet you they're converting more than yours, right? Because yes, the real elements of what makes a page convert more than others all comes down to really psychology. So if you can just look at a page and go, oh yeah, this one is way better, then I bet you it actually does better, because that's what happens in people's brains. That's what happens when someone Googles something and they click on it and they go, what makes them make a decision, what not? They don't go, the phone number's here, or this font, or this, that. People don't really know that. They just go of what does my brain tell me in 3 seconds? does this look trustworthy? I'm like, okay, great. These are the guys I'm going to call, right? Makes it pretty easy. So again, just do keyword research. Make sure you have a good page because that's all going to come down to it. So if your CPCs are high, again, make sure that, which keywords are actually converting. Try and make those keywords longer, more niche keywords. And then also, use that CPC bid limit if just all your keywords are expensive. And then something that's always going to help you, get a better return is having a higher converting page. But what also comes into conversion is going to be, your actual traffic. So if your traffic is irrelevant, you're not really watching the search terms well, that's going to lower your conversion rate because they're just not on the right page. So you want to make sure that everyone clicking on your ads has come from a search term that is so relevant that it's like, hey, these should have been a customer, right? If they're looking up other stuff and they click out, then obviously they're probably not going to convert, but that's going to overall hurt your conversion rate and you're still paying for the click. So all that combined. The next big thing I see is that everyone tries to sell to everyone. Okay, you need to be more specific than that. There are way too many advertisements that people are seeing every day on Google, on Facebook, anywhere on their phone, on TV, whatever. You need to be more specific. And I feel like I see everyone trying to sell to everyone, but every business is going to have, their best demographic or like their avatar. So just lean into that a little bit more. I work with an energy supplement company, and by the look of the brand and stuff, I was like, okay, this is for probably like a more like youthful, like guy, maybe my age, who's like going to the gym, needs like an energy pick me up, whatever. Like, I don't know, some younger kid. I just tell like by the colors of the logo, the website design, it was for a more youthful audience. We started running Google ads for him, and I very quickly realized, over 80% of the traffic coming from these search terms is men over 40. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. So that's actually our audience. The people that really need this product are men over 40. Okay. So why do men over 40 need an energy supplement? Okay. Boom. We shifted everything. I changed the whole website. I changed all the UGC content was now people of that demographic. We didn't have, we literally almost rebranded just this one product for this company in general to now tailor to this audience because that's who we're selling to. And it completely changed everything. So I know that's a very almost dramatic example. But that's the way that you almost have to look at everything. Even if you're doing car, AC repair or mobile auto detailing, like, hey, if you're in Las Vegas, you don't need to be targeting a higher, wealth demographic. But if you're going to, then you have to do it right. You can't show up in a little 15-year-old minivan with a little magnet on the side of your thing and be like, oh, we clean Rolls Royces and we only work for rich people. No, you don't. You need to go all in. You need to wrap the van. You need to have high quality ads and maybe pay a video editor and have some cinematic stuff. Because if you're the guy who sells to rich people, then you have to look like and be the brand that looks like they sell to rich people. So all that stuff goes a long way. And you might be thinking, well, okay, that's not as relevant, whatever, etc. No, that stuff helps a ton and it helps conversion. It helps you sell to the right people. It smooths over everything. So just try not to be who you're not, and just whatever you're selling. What's your angle? Hey, is your angle that we're expensive? Okay, then tailor to that. Make everything, your website, your landing page, your video, your image assets, your pricing needs to all be, just the value of your service needs to all be about that rich person or that rich demographic. If you're the cheapest, do that too. If you're the most friendly, if you're the most neighborly, if you've been in business the longest, whatever it is, go all in on that. I'm going to quit talking about this part now. The next thing is going to be vanity metrics. Oh, actually pause. I'm going to go back. A note I have here is ad groups. So I see a lot of people also just putting a lot of different things in their ad groups. Like, for example, if you are, again, a mobile auto detailer, you should not have an ad group with these keywords in it: mobile car wash, auto detailing, car clean, car wash. Those are all way, way, way different things. When I make an account that's actually going to work, I separate things down so specifically because I want only the specific category of keywords that someone's going to be looking up. I want them to see ad copy that reflects, because it's going to get our click-through rates way, way, way better. And it's going to be bringing higher intent people to the page. So you should quite literally have mobile auto detailing, mobile car washing, auto detailing, whatever. Have those all as different ad groups and don't have any of those keywords overlap. You might be thinking, okay, yeah, that's a little repetitive. It's pretty much the same thing. Yes, you're right about both of those. But what's going to separate you from being able to get an extra lead or two a week, which is going to bring your CPAs down, which is going to overall help everything and help you see better because things are more separated of what's working, is to really break that down more. So again, if someone's looking up mobile auto detailing, your ad, they should never be seeing an ad headline for a mobile car wash, because it's quite literally not what they looked up. If someone is looking up online for a supplement booster, don't be like, hey, all natural health supplement. Quite literally not what they looked up. They looked for an energy booster. You're selling them a health supplement. Give people exactly what they want. Again, there's too many ads, too many competitors, too many alternatives for a customer. You need to be giving people exactly what they want. Be more intentional with your marketing is what I'm getting at. Next thing is vanity metrics. When I audit an account and someone's like, hey, this is our problem, this is our problem, here's where we're stuck. What you do is you find the bottleneck. Start from top, go to the bottom. Okay, bottleneck right now. Got it. Okay, look at metrics, look at data, look at percentages. If your search campaign click-through rate is 2%, okay, their messaging is off, your keywords are off, you're getting irrelevant traffic. That alone is gonna help a lot. Overall, just find the metric. Find those low metrics, or find the high metrics, right? Find the balance. See what's going on, right? You can have everything be great and you go, oh, you're spending, 4 times more per click than you should be. We're going to change your keywords. We're going to change, we're going to make them more niche. We're going to make them longer tail, etc. Okay, boom. Let's say that brings costs down, 50% and everything else stays the same, then your account's more profitable. Or if your conversion rate, we're getting, a 9% click-through rate on our search campaign, but our conversion rate is 0.67%. Okay, there's a huge disconnect in your congruency or your offer, or your page looks like crap, or maybe it doesn't even load correctly. Maybe it takes too long to load on mobile. Maybe it's not fitted for mobile and people go, oh, I'm out. It can literally be something that simple. So looking at metrics overall as a whole and just trying to find bottlenecks. That's really what it is, right? Is try and find the outliers. What numbers are too high or what numbers are too low, and see what is going on with those. I already talked about having a poor website, poor landing page. The next thing and the last thing I'm gonna talk to you about, especially if you're a local business, is always gonna be a bad rated reviews for your Google reviews, or just having an overall a low number of reviews. I cannot emphasize this enough how important this is. A client came to me and I was like, cool, we're on the call, we're chatting. I look at their business. They had 2.7 stars out of 5. And I just literally, that call pretty much ended right there. Because no matter how much money you're spending, no matter how good our ads are, no matter how good our pages are, people now are a little bit smarter than that. Maybe people would see past that 10, 15 years ago and just not really, see it, whatever. But Google reviews, social proof, trust, especially with local businesses, is like quite literally everything. So if you're going to do anything for your business, or you don't ever want to spend money on marketing, or I don't care what you do, but if you can do one thing, it's have a good Google review reputation. It's going to help with everything. It's going to help people find you easier, better. You're going to come up, higher up on local searches. And then when you're running ads, it's just going to literally be a fuel to the fire. This situation has literally happened. I have 2 med spas that I worked with at different times, by the way, that were both in Las Vegas. I believe this was like 2 years ago now. They had, I think it was like 40 reviews at like a 3.9 star. And I was like, okay. We ran ads for some time, whatever. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, the owner was just not happy with the results we were getting. We were getting on calls. I was telling him all the things I was making, but just wasn't hitting. He fired me after 2 months. I have been working with another, the same exact business type, basically in Las Vegas for, I think, over a year now. And this business has 400 reviews, I think more than 400 reviews at like a 4.7 star, average, basically selling the exact same price, basically selling the exact same thing, but our ads are just having much, much more success. And then combining that with my expertise, my daily optimizations of what I need to do, it just hits a home run now, because you have people in the community backing you. And when you have positive reviews and you're giving people a good experience at your business, Google actually, basically rewards you by giving you, higher up on the maps and the higher up on the search engine result page, because Google's now doing their job. Because you go to Google to look for weight loss services, you go on Google to find the best solution or find the solution for you. So if you take action and you like this business, Google rewards you for that. So the best thing you could do if you don't want to do anything for marketing is always have good Google reviews. And that has a huge play into Google ads, because a lot of times if someone's local in your area, you're also running those map pack ads, or if they type in a local search like Phoenix or near me or whatever, that can also trigger, your map listing as well. So people can see that, because if you're the top guy with 400 reviews at 2.1 stars, the next guy's got 80 reviews at 4.9 stars, who do you think's winning? Even if you're running Google ads, right? So all that ties in together. Trust, social proof, everything is very, very important. But that is everything I have in a nutshell. I gave you a good handful of things here. I do want to make more of these videos like this on these more abstract topics instead of just how to Google ads. So if you have any questions, please let me know below. If you want me to run your ads for you, the first link in the description will lead you to my website. You can fill out a contact form. And unless I am making a video like this or sleeping, I will call you back within 5 minutes at most. Most people, I will literally happen to be on my phone and they fill out a form and I call them within seconds and they are blown away. They become a client right away and I have them forever. So I want you to be one of those people too. So if you want me to run your ads for you, go to the first link in my description and I would love to run your ads for you and have a conversation with you. But anyways, thank you for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.